Hello and welcome to the first ever podcast episode of Police Stuff 911. I'm your host Brent, and in this first episode, I'm going to first talk about me, so you'll get to know me and know my law enforcement experience. We'll tell you exactly what we're going to do with the podcast and with the webpage. Three different things. For some of you may like all of them. Some may want to pick and choose. That's the reason I'm having a wide variety of that. Also, I'm going to talk about, under the police stuff, is what to do if you are pulled over by the police, how to act, what to say, things like that, so that everything goes smooth. First of all, I want to talk about me a little bit, being in law enforcement for 16 years. 5 of those years as a patrolman, answering calls, pulling cars over, writing speeding tickets, making arrests, and all that kind of stuff. 8 years as a criminal investigator, where I investigated all types of crimes, theft, burglary, a couple of kidnappings, 5 murder cases. And on those, I had to do crime scene from the beginning to the prosecution of the person. So I have experience in the whole gamut, the whole thing of that. I was 3 years undercover narcotics agent. And in the last 2 years, I am now a school resource officer. So I've covered about everything you can in law enforcement. So just wanted you all to know that. I have thousands and thousands of hours of training in everything. I mean, 16 years, you get a lot of training. We are required for 40 hours per year of just extra training. It's called continuing education. I have a whole lot more than that. I was lucky. I got to go to a lot of schools. I found a school I liked. I usually got to attend that. All right, now that you know a little bit about me, let me tell you about the podcast. I've noticed in the past, whenever you start talking about a situation that you were in as a police officer, or anything like that, talking about police stuff, I guess a better word, I notice people really listen. People come in the room and they start listening. They start asking questions. People really like this kind of stuff. I mean, and we are creatures we're inquisitive. We want to know. We want to see the quote unquote train wreck. You notice when traffic slows down so much on a wreck, everybody's turning and watching it. Why are we watching it? I have no idea, but everyone does. So I'm going to talk about general police stuff, what to do, what not to do. I'm going to tell some stories of situations that I've been in. I'm going to do almost a daily vlog, but it won't be daily, maybe 3, maybe 4 times a week, of just my thoughts for that day, or what's going on that day, or what happened that day. So you'll really get to know me as a person and as a cop. The second thing I'm going to do in the podcast is true crime stories, where I will go into detail, maybe a famous case or a whodunit or an unsolved mystery, something like that. And then I'll give my perspective or my opinion as a law enforcement officer of what I think happened and what should have happened, or just tell you from more of a law enforcement perspective. And the third thing we're doing on the podcast are crime scene scenarios, because I've worked a lot of crime scenes. That's where I'm going to, with this one will be video, of course, you're going to have to see it. It will be, I will set up a mock crime scene of a crime that was committed, and walk through and show you all the clues, show you what happened, show you what I'm thinking about or what I'm seeing as a criminal investigator. And then it'll be your job to tell what happened, to basically solve the case, to see what actually the facts and what happened and what we know is truth. That's how you deal with a crime scene. You gather facts and that's it. You can have opinions later, but first of all, you have to get the facts. Okay. So that's what we're doing on the podcast, Police Stuff 911. I also have a website, policestuff911.com. You can go there. There you have 3 options. You can go to the police stuff page, the true crimes stories page, or the crime scene scenario page. So you get to see any of that you want to. And let me go and say this before I forget. If you like this kind of stuff, tell your family and friends. Tell them to go to my page. Tell them to subscribe to the podcast. I really appreciate it. It'll really help me out. So, also follow me on social media. I am on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So if you would please follow me on that, I'd really appreciate it. Help me out. I want to create a like-minded group where we can have discussions and we can talk about things. You know, it's hard to find that, but that's what I want to accomplish. Okay, now I'm gonna go into what should you do when a police officer pulls you over. Okay, I know it's scary as crap. I went about an 8-9 year gap where I was not a police officer and got pulled over 4 or 5 times. And I was a cop and I knew what they were going to do and how they were going to do it, but I was nervous and hadn't done anything wrong, nothing. But I understand where y'all coming from. It's a nervous thing. You're like, holy crap, what did I do? You know, or how are they going to act? And it's a scary thing, but it's also a nervous thing for us police officers. We're walking up to a vehicle with 1, 2, 3, 4, however many people in the car. We don't know you, have no idea what you just did. You could have someone in the car you kidnapped. You could have just committed armed robbery, or like 90% of the time, you're just a good citizen. But we have no idea. Okay, we're just as nervous as you, even though we're in control of the situation most of the time. It is nerve-wracking for us also. Now, and this has happened quite a few times, and I've gotten really good of de-escalating the situation. The person might be having a bad day, something, but they're aggressive and combative as soon as I walk up to the window. There is nothing good can come out of that situation. Absolutely nothing. So how do you think I'm going to act as a police officer? I'm doing my job. You did something for me to pull you over, and you're being belligerent. So that's going to piss me off a little bit too. So I'm going to go a little more aggressive. And there's nothing good can come out of that situation. Nothing. Here's what you do. You roll your window down. I prefer you put your hands on the steering wheel. Okay? It makes me feel a little more comfortable. If the yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am will get you a long way. It really will. It's called respect. It'll get you a long way. That sets everything off on the right foot. Answer the questions. Don't be a smart aleck. And I hate it when a cop says this. Do you know why I pulled you over? That's a dumb question. Don't ask that. As a police officer, tell them why you pulled them over. Don't. Do you know why I pulled you? I've had that happen before. I wanted to say, well, you should know you're the one that did it. But no, can't go there. What else am I going to talk about? Oh, also on this podcast, there's not going to be any editing. It's as if me and you are sitting at a table drinking a cup of coffee. It's no editing. I want you to get the real thing. I'll mispronounce words. I'll pause. I'll cough. I'll sneeze. But I don't like editing in videos. Once they pull you over, be polite. Do what they ask. If you have, in the state of Tennessee, we have concealed carry. And sometimes it's on your license, on your driver's license, sometimes it's not. If it was on the person's driver's license, I would be, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, I see you have concealed carry. Do you have the weapon on you today? If they say yes, tell me where it is. Don't touch it. Tell me where it is. I'm carrying it appendix, or it's under my seat, or whatever. Okay, that's fine. You can legally have it. You keep yours where yours is, and I'll keep mine where mine is. You just want to know that. If you have a weapon in the car, you have concealed carry, and it's not on your driver's license, no big deal. Tell that police officer with your hands on the steering wheel, I have concealed carry permit, have a weapon under my passenger seat. As a law enforcement officer, I really appreciate that. It really lets me know what's going on. You're being honest with me. It will get you a long way. It really will. Safety for all. End of the day, everybody wants to go home safe. That's period. That's the end goal for me and for you. Everybody wants to go home safe. Now, at times will we get a speeding ticket or some other moving violation? Yep, it's going to happen sometimes. But just take it and go on. Hey, I'm that guy. I never pulled anybody over unless they were going at least 15 miles over the speed limit. And doesn't mean I wrote you a ticket. So that's another thing, if you're speeding, which you need to slow down, man, speed kills. And it's 2 lanes and you're in the left lane, that's what we're looking for. That car, the fastest cars are normally going to be in the left lane. So stay over in that right lane unless you're passing. All right. Just a few little tips, tidbits, what to tell you about getting pulled over. Some of you may have not known these things. But that's the way it is, especially if you're younger and never been pulled over, you are going to freak out. I've had so many young girls cry on me. Don't do that. I mean, I'll tell them to calm down. And sometimes they can't help it, but that's not helping the situation either. I need to calm you down so you can answer my questions. All right. All right. That's the first episode. They're going to usually be short. Some of the true crime stories are longer, up to 30 minutes long. Some of them are 12 minutes long. Remember, if you like this, go to the webpage, policestuff911.com. Also follow me on social media and tell your family and friends. I really appreciate you listening to the podcast. Thank you so much.